we need to talk about Harley Quinn. I love, 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 love Harley Quinn, and she is finally getting her live action due, not counting the Birds of Prey show, which I actually quite like, but everyone else thinks it's terrible, so never mind. She is going to be played by Margot Robbie. I talked about that a little bit, the trailer, when I talked about my Batman v Superman video. However, I wanted to take a few moments to talk specifically about Harley and my concerns. Harley is a great character. I think she is fun, engaging, and really can be well written when done right. However, when poorly written, it can be terrible. Everything from her costuming to her character trait. I have seen some really great modern adaptations of Harley and some really poor ones, and then some that are kind of in the middle. I have three main concerns dealing with Harley, and this is not to say that I think that these are jumping the gun to say like, oh, it's gonna be awful. I'm not saying that it's gonna be awful, but I'm saying that these are the three things that I'm looking out for because I can totally see the seeds for it. And I just wanted to talk about them briefly because I know there are other Harley Quinn fans out there who love her, mainly the train ticket, hey boo, and I just needed to get these out so that when the movie comes out, and if any of these things happen, I can just go back and be like, well, on this day I said if these things happened, I would flip my shit and bleed from my eyeballs. The blood will not shock you. Number 3 is maybe seem minor to you guys because it's not a characteristic thing, but it's an important thing to me as someone who loves ladies and loves lady friendly stuff, is that even though there are going to be 4 women in this movie, we are going to have Amanda Waller, the Wall, love it. We're going to have Harley Quinn, duh. We're going to have Enchantress, which is kind of like, well, I guess. And then we're going to have Katana. And even though there are 4 women in this cast, there is still a very high chance they will never interact with each other. That terrifies me because Harley has female friends. Lots of them. Some of them are even superheroes and ambiguous, and one of them is her girlfriend sometimes. One of the biggest things that I think is dangerous about Harley is making her too much of a character that's just for the male gaze. I was hoping that, and I am hoping that, she will get to have really good interactions with Enchantress and Katana. Mainly because there's no reason why not. And if, like, just from the teaser trailer alone, the only real interaction we see with her with other people seem to be with other guys. I mean, there's a scene where you see Amanda Waller coming down and she acts as if she's the devil. If the animated film, which I did enjoy despite other issues with it, is any indicator, they might push the whole Deadshot Harley relationship, and since she's already done a film, the actress with Will Smith playing a love interest, people might expect that anyway, so we'll see about that. But I want Harley to have positive female relationships, and you know, if this does as well, I'm hoping that Harley and Ivy will get to be in the next movie because I love them. Number 2, I don't want it all to be about Harley and Joker. I already mentioned I don't want her being just a love interest for 2 guys that are probably going to be less interesting than she is. But I also don't want her to be so Joker-centric. The thing about Harley Quinn in things like the Suicide Squad movie, the animated one that came out, which is really called Assault on Arkham, but I don't call it that because it's a bullshit title. It's not really about Batman's Arkham. It's about the Suicide Squad. But anyway, one of the things that bothered me about that film is that as soon as the Joker comes into play in Harley's story, it becomes about them and him, but not about her. And I find that to be very annoying. One of the great things about the comics that are going right now with the Harley series is that she gets to be her own character. One of the great things about her being friends with Poison Ivy and Catwoman and Black Canary is that she gets to have other stuff going on besides the Joker. And it's even okay in certain instances to bring him in and have interactions between them because the comics and the animated series have this very long history of them together, so we expect them together, and we also know more about her because I think everyone that watched the Suicide Squad animated movie is someone who grew up watching the animated series where we first were introduced to Harley in the first place. So we know her, we know her character, we know her depths. And so even if the animated show doesn't show it, we can put it into. She's a character that we recognize and know. Even just visually, the Suicide Squad live action movie doesn't look a lot like Harley in terms of character design. I mean, the hair and everything, I mean, she's white and she's blonde and she's pretty. That's all there. But in terms of like character design, there isn't a lot of Harley there. Like even her color scheme is not the same. And so it's like you can really do more with her. But as soon as I saw the Joker show up in the trailer, I'm like, and in like the casting and everything, I'm like, oh god, it's gonna be all about him when it gets real. And I really don't want that. And she's got all these other things going on, and like I need her to have motherfucking depth. And that brings me to number 1. I will burn everything to the motherfucking ground if they give me Suicide Girl Harley. I cannot function with that shit. Suicide Girls are kind of like these alternative pinup models that's kind of like softcore pornography in a lot of ways. I'm not saying they're not beautiful or aesthetically pleasing, but it is very softcore pornography pinup style women, and they mostly wear like alternative clothing, like that kind of gothic hipster punk, not hipster, but like gothic punk style clothing. And as Harley's character has developed from the animated series to other incarnations, her outfits have gotten smaller and her psychosis has gotten higher, and it's just like Harley is not the crazy sexy chick. And what I loved about her in the animated series is that she's very, very childlike. She's wearing these big kid pajamas. She's, you know, bubbly and bright-eyed and very like she's a Disney princess in like 90% of the time. But there's a 10% of her that is willing to torture poor Tim Drake to the point where he has a mental break and almost tries to kill people. And she can do that. She can do that and still be like faddy pajama woman. And that's her, you know, that's part of her appeal. And that has gotten less and less clear as the character has evolved. I remember when the first Suicide Squad comic book trailer of this like new generation comic came out, and she's wearing like this really stupid revealing corset and skirt combo, and I just like, dear God, why? And it's not that I have a problem with her being sexy. I love me some sexy ladies. I like me some boobies. I like all of that shit. But Harley is not that to me. And maybe it's me being an originalist and you like it because that's the character that you know. But for me, what makes Harley endearing, what makes Harley fun, is that juxtaposition between this woman who is fun and carefree, but can also have these really dark sides to her. But also, on top of all of that, she's very competent. I mean, you see it in Harley and Ivy, you see it in Mad Love, you see it a little bit in Harley Quinn. Harley is very capable of doing things on her own, and she's smart. She's a good villainess in her own right. And that needs to be explored. I don't want her to be reduced to a sexy... Because there's a scene where it looks like she's on a stripper pole. And I remember in that Joker comic, I was so pissed because Harley is in it, but she doesn't have a single fucking line of dialogue. And she's a fucking stripper, and that's it. They even had the line in the fucking trailer where he's like, you know, to say about the crazy ones. First of all, shut up, Jack Courtney. Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. 1. 2, fuck you, and fuck that stupid ass trope. Like, it's not cute, and it's not her, and she's not... I don't hate sexy Harley. I just think that they've overplayed it too much. And then you see her with like her booty shorts and her like nothing is black and red. I'm just like, what the fuck is this? I don't want her to be this really weird fetishy ass concept of Harley. I want Harley fucking Quinn. Like, and it's been the way with like the Arkham video games, which some of those costumes I like. I even like her costume in the Suicide Squad animated film because it looks like her costume. It's just showing her torso, and I'm like, okay, I can get down with that. It's sexy, but it's also Harley. These nurse outfits are just so jarring, and I just hate them so much. I feel like the essence of what made Harley such a fun character was lost on them. I mean, the comics have really captured that really well in the recent ones. I very much enjoy them. But in other media, I'm just like, you guys really don't want to commit to making this character as nuanced as it could be. You just want her to be like a fetish toy. And I will not be able to deal with that if that's what she ends up being. So those are my top 3 concerns about Harley Quinn. If you guys have any more, please let me know down below, because I know there are tons of Harley fans out there. I know we're all excited for this, but I can't be the only one who's like, please don't fuck this up. That's it, and I will see you guys soon.